If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Well, I guess we can say it's just about 7 o'clock in Sylacauga and most other places around Sylacauga this morning. It's 72 degrees outside and 71 degrees, and our guests will probably tell you it's quite humid outside this morning. My guest this morning, we were talking before, it's probably the first time that anybody's ever discussed social media on Sylacauga Daybreak. But Paul Stepp has developed a Facebook page called Things Going On in Sylacauga. And first, Paul, welcome to Sylacauga Daybreak. You and I are longtime acquaintances, and in my case, we can say old acquaintances. You're not anywhere close to my age, but you set up this Facebook page called Things Going On in Sylacauga, and I guess the question is, and you spend a lot of time, I can tell, because I really like your Facebook page. I can really tell that you spend a lot of time. Why'd you set it up? Why you take the time?
There was a lot of, as I went over different Facebook pages early on, there was a lot of negativity towards Sylacauga. And I kept seeing the negativity, and I thought to myself, you know, this is a great place. I love this town, and it doesn't deserve all the negativity on these pages. So I thought I'll set up a page where we'll have a positive page for Sylacauga.
Well, who works with you? Who's the other administrators on the page?
We have quite a few pretty good folks. We got Brianna Woods, we got Julie O'Neill Owens, we got Tom Roberts, we got Rachel Adair, and we got Robin Lewis, who puts a lot of time into the page.
How much time does it take you a day to do this?
Probably 10 hours a day.
10 hours a day.
It takes a lot more time than people think it does.
I would hope you're retired, because I know there's not a big reward coming in, and I'm sure you'd like to figure out a way to maybe get this into some type of reward monetarily, but you're not doing it for that.
No, sir, it's not for anything except for the city of Sylacauga to have a great place for people to come and communicate. We don't allow any profanity. We don't allow any acronyms for profanity. We have people from 16 years of age on up on the page, so we just want a great family atmosphere page.
As you followed your page, do you remember the item, the picture that's got the most response? Or what type pictures get the most response?
I posted a picture of Ray Mcdermott one time, who still holds the record. He got almost 1,000 likes on the picture. And he's kind of my historian of Sylacauga at Dixie Drug. Yeah. If you ever get a chance, go by and see him. He's got great information, pictures of way back. He has newspaper articles from back in the 50s all the way up. And my other historian that I lean a lot on is Earl Lewis.
Yeah, we had Earl
which
on
I
yesterday.
think you had yesterday, which is a great guy. Both these people love to talk about Sylacauga, and they're a walking history book, and they never forget a face or a name. So if you ever get a chance, stop, talk to Earl or to Mr. Ray, and they'd love to see you. And
I think one of the things that if you really want to go back in history in Sylacauga, just go in Dixie Drug. I mentioned it earlier this morning he sponsored Today in History on Sylacauga Daybreak. Is just sit down as a soda fountain.
Absolutely.
He's not going to serve you there. He'll stand behind it and talk to you. But he brought back some really memories to me.
Oh, he absolutely loves for people to stop by, come back. One thing I do is when we post a lot of these pictures, he reads the comments on them. He'll sit there and read the comments on every one of them, and just absolutely loves to hear people talk about the history of Sylacauga, and especially his soda shop days. And
I get amazed at your Facebook page and other Facebook page, how you can, and you've really guarded it on yours, and maybe you want to tell us again why. But you can bring up a subject, and before the entire 20, 30, or 40 comments is over, it's not even talking about what was brought up at the top of it. And I think do you make an attempt to govern that, or?
Yes, sir. That's actually what they call hijacking a thread. Once you start a
What's
thread,
that?
hijacking a thread.
Okay.
We like to keep whatever the initial post was, we try to stay on topic for that post instead of taking it way off somewhere. And kind of in the rules, that's part of the rules. If you start going off, then we bring it back to center.
I know last night you posted a picture that Harmon Mims took, and I probably got it from Earl. Harmon Mims took of a parade, a white vehicle. It had a building in the background, and David Green brought up that it was Old Rex Hotel, and somebody else brought up that it was the old Sylacauga Theater. I can tell you it was the Old Rex Hotel, and the reason I know it was Old Rex Hotel, if you look at the sign on it, it said McDonald Insurance Agency. McDonald Insurance Agency was at 200 North Broadway in Sylacauga, if you go back in 1962 and look. So if you get any questions on that was one of those that's probably still going on today with a little comment. But tell us about, you post 10, 15, I don't know how many pictures a day of different pictures of things happening. I know you posted one yesterday, last night, that had the swim instructors in 1957. Where you get all these pictures?
Well, that's kind of a secret. We don't let that out just yet. That's kind of the ongoing thing. People want to know where you got it, and I said we will reveal at the end where we got all these pictures. But it's kind of an ongoing thing of people wanting to know where we got them. But when we get through posting all the pictures we have, which we still have thousands, we'll reveal where we got them
Well,
from.
if somebody has some pictures, are you still accepting pictures?
Oh, absolutely. If you have pictures of Sylacauga, in fact, I've had several people try to get me to open a separate Facebook page just for the historical pictures that we post, so people can have memories for down the line. But this page actually takes so much time, I just don't have the time. Now, I have a lady that has agreed to set up the rules for another page. If we could get enough volunteers to help run the page, that we could post all these pictures that we post on Facebook, so people could have Sylacauga memories forever and ever, as long as there's a Facebook.
How many people are on your Facebook? And I know they're more interested in it than on it, but how many people you have now?
We have almost 8,000 members in Sylacauga, Alabama, which is pretty good.
I've been doing interviewing on radio and television for quite some time, and I usually research what I'm talking about. I went back and looked. In the last 6 days, you've had almost 150 people join your page. That's the last 6 days. I know you had 15 yesterday.
I did not know that.
I'm a statistical type of guy, and yes. I went back and looked at it. But you've got more on your page than any of the other local pages. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
I went back and looked at, I'm not bound in any of them. There are a lot of good sites. Some of them do exactly what you talk about. If you want to talk bad about Sylacauga, you can get on there and talk bad about them. I don't follow them too much because I think you should be positive. If you don't like what's going on in Sylacauga, get involved and go to city council meetings and do something about it.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I'm trying to get people to do now is get involved in their town. There's an old saying in Sylacauga that I keep running across to in a lot of pages is they. There is no they, it's got to be we. It's got to be us, the people. Okay. Everyone has to get involved to do their part.
Let's do we. Let's talk about your get-together in August that you're planning on your page, what you plan to do, and what all you want to do with that day and tell us about it.
Okay, this actually got started when I was reading some posts about Church of the Highlands having a community serve day, and I was sitting down at the lake one Saturday morning, and I thought to myself, how great would it be if we could come up with a Community Serve Day. I called it Sylacauga Community Serve Day, but you really could leave the Sylacauga off and call it Community Serve Day so it could spread to other towns and other cities. And what we were doing.
What day is it?
It's August the 1st.
Okay.
We're going to meet at the J. Craig Smith Community Center at 8 a.m.
Okay, it is not a J. Craig Smith Sylacauga Park and Recreation activity.
No, sir. Absolutely. This is things going on in Sylacauga all by itself. Has nothing to do with J. Craig, any other entity.
Okay. Tell us what's going to happen that day. What you want to happen that day.
Well, I need to go back in time a little bit. When I posted that thing about wouldn't it be a great to have a community service, a lady named Kristen Elliff sent me a private message and said, we can make this thing happen.
Okay.
And I said, well, let's get the ball rolling. So she contacted Jeff Wesson, and we've been contacting, each other back and forth, and we're getting this thing rolling. We've had multiple volunteers. They're going to bring trucks. They're going to bring trailers. People bringing water. And, we've even got the sticks that you pick the trash up with. So we have selected streets that we have determined to be the most needed, but we won't give those out until we get to the J. Craig, because a lot of people go, if you're not going to clean my street, I won't get involved. So we're going to reveal the streets that we're going to clean at that time. And the more people we have, the more streets we can clean.
Okay, now this is not just a photo op or something. This is really for the people.
This is for the people of Sylacauga.
Come out and work.
I'm not a photo op. You had to talk to me a lot to get here. I'm not a photo guy. So this is absolutely for the people of Sylacauga and the town of Sylacauga, and they deserve it.
Okay, I'll agree 100%. I think keeping Sylacauga clean needs to be done more. This will be 2 times a year. Needs to be done more than 1 or 2 times a year. I have a method I've been pushing for a long time. I won't bring it up here. I've already brought it up to City Council. It got nowhere. But still, people, the trash on our highways, it doesn't make any difference. I live on 21 South. It doesn't make any difference. My yard was perfectly clean yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
Somebody asked me the other day where I live. I said a Big Mac, a order of fries, and a large Coke from McDonald's.
Yes.
Because this morning I've got some fast food or some, carry-out cases in my yard.
Yes, sir.
It just happens to be probably when you leave a certain area of town, you get there, that's the place that they're probably going to roll the window down, and everything that you get to mine is woods and everything, and along the road, it's clean. But mine stays clean. I don't expect anybody to come out, and most people on my road, but we've got so many areas that need to clean up, and maybe I'm stepping out here. Maybe, you're talking about Sylacauga, but you get out on some of these county roads, Paul, and I know you can't go out there and do that. You can't do that, but maybe we can, your website or your Facebook page can get some of these people out in the county, rather than just complaining about what District 4, District 5 does. Maybe they can get out and organize something themselves. But there are certain places, and once you leave Sylacauga out on a certain road, going towards 5 Points, and you might turn off Alabama Avenue, it's terrible right in there. But let's talk about what do you see for your things going on in Sylacauga down the road? I mean, you've done an excellent job. 2 years you've been doing it or so.
Yes.
You've done an excellent job.
Well, we just like to keep it going forward, get more people involved. The more people get involved, the more things you can get done. And going back to this Serve Day, remember I said there's selected roads. I didn't say they were all in the city, because we have some that's outside the city. And the thing about this Serve Day is you don't have to limit it to pick up trash. The next Serve Day we might move to a different area and do a different thing for the city that something needs done. Okay,
in your deal, tell us about political ads. As political season's coming up, you gonna have political ads?
We do. We allow you to post your ads. We used to keep a pretty tight lid on it to start with, because there was a lot of arguments and people with accusations, but once we kind of got it down to a family page, we started letting the political ads come through because everybody kind of knows the rules now and knows that you can't start slandering people, you can't start talking bad about them. So we're letting them go through, and we've even talked about even having some Facebook Live with the candidates if they'd like to, come forward where people could ask them questions.
Well, I don't mean to make a negative comment, but some people on Facebook can't make a comment unless it's negative.
You're absolutely correct.
But how about business ads, businesses on your Facebook? Local businesses are allowed to advertise once per 30-day period. How about for sale? People got stuff for sale.
We don't allow anything for sale on the site.
Okay.
Now, we allow you to advertise your yard sales, but only the address, location, time, and
Since the Trader's Helper is no longer, there's really a need for a place that somebody could go on Thursday afternoon and start looking for the yard sales on the weekend. How about fundraisers or things like that? Is that allowed?
We allow fundraisers. It's ran by a committee to make sure it gets on the page. We try to confirm that they're legit fundraisers and the best we can, but they are allowed on the page, and that's a great thing sometimes.
How many people have you had to take off for profanity and just downright ugliness?
That would be too many to count.
But you don't hesitate to do that, do you?
I do not. When I first started this page, I'll be honest with you, it bothered me to have to delete somebody or take them off the page.
How many times you got to be ugly or use profanity before you get ripped?
Usually the first time.
The first time. Okay. You get any work out of Tom Roberts? Or is his name just on the list?
Nah, Tom he's a great source of information. He knows a lot of stuff that, the average guy in the community doesn't know.
And I really bet you Robin Lewis brought you a bunch of pictures too, didn't she?
Robin is a great helping me identify them. She didn't bring them, but she knows a lot about them.
Okay. Talking with Paul Stepp, the administrator of Facebook, of things going on in Sylacauga. If you're on Facebook, give it a try and take a look at it. And Paul, once again, I think your day, your get together, your cleanup day, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think you even call it a cleanup day, but tell us about it once again and when it's going to happen and who can come and what's expected. Okay,
we're calling it Sylacauga Community Serve Day. We're going to meet at the J. Craig Community Center at 8 a.m. on August the 1st. We're going to leave from there to the designated areas, and we're going to pick up trash along the city, maybe county, depending on how many folks show up.
Okay.
We would invite everybody to show up. The more people, the more streets we can cover, and the better Sylacauga will be. Okay,
you're working with the street department and the mayor. I'm sure you've
yes, sir. We're in touch with all those folks.
I've talked with Mayor Hijacking, and he's familiar with this, and I hope you're getting cooperation from all the councilmen and all this. But
yes, sir.
8,000. I guess we can probably, after people seeing the show today, by 9 o'clock today, you'll have 8,000 people signed up on that.
Yes, it's possible. Well, the more people we have, the better it is. It's like we got 8,000 people out there now. If something's going on in the community, we usually know it pretty fast.
Well, Paul, I commend you for what you're doing. There's too many people around, and I've been involved in politics and local politics for a long time and try to be involved. And I see here at the time of the election that people are just now, people you've never heard of are really, really interested in what's going on. But I hope that through pages like you and people like you, we can get people, rather than 6 months out of 4 years, will be interested in Sylacauga and not just in the 6 months. And I commend you for your Facebook and for your interest in Sylacauga.
Thank you.
Been talking with Paul Stepp this morning on Sylacauga Daybreak. Has a Facebook page, things going on in Sylacauga. And Paul, thank you for getting up early, coming out in this very warm Tuesday morning. And we'll be back with more Sylacauga Daybreak right after these messages from our sponsor.